Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to episode
28
of Birds vs. Boys. I mean, it's Thanksgiving, so what are Aidan and I doing right now? We are sipping on stateside vodka because there's no other way to celebrate this unbelievably American tradition, but with unbelievably amazing Philadelphian vodka.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upset alert. Upset alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there. There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
Be the team you promised me you were going to be this year!
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
I'll be watching.
Aidan, how are you, my friend?
Well, the bars are closed on Thanksgiving Eve, which is a better holiday than New Year's Eve, and that's my take, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm a little down. Eagles suck, so I'm a lot down, but we're here. So cheers to you virtually. I think it's still a good time, and we've got some good vodka, so I can't complain too much.
Mm-hmm. If you were going to complain while drinking stateside vodka, you would be taken off the screen.
That is true, and probably fired because it would go against everything that we're
exactly
getting to do.
All right, so we have a little bit to get into here on this wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining us. If you're listening to us on Thanksgiving, or maybe it's Friday, and maybe the Cowboys have already won or lost, and you're listening after. But Cowboys play today on Thanksgiving against the Washington football team. The Lions play. I'm not going to lie. I don't know who the Lions play today.
They play the Texans.
Okay.
If we were going to cancel a game,
yeah,
I was hoping it was that one.
Right? Like, yeah, that is the poop bowl.
Yeah, I understand why the Ravens and Steelers were canceled, but can we also cancel Lions Texans? There's no problem. It just needs to be canceled.
We just don't. I mean, there's a big problem. It just, we don't want to watch that.
Here is that is a classic, like, do you have a gambling problem or not?
Yes.
Lions Texans at noon on Thanksgiving is the most, do you have a gambling problem? That should be like sponsored by 1-800-GAMBLER. That game. If you're betting on that game, you might have an issue.
You know what I say about that game? Like,
there you go.
That's what that game means. It's just, there's nothing worse than that. Yeah, like, I'm looking at it. It's on my TV on the bottom right now too. And it's just like, I look at the two names and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, day after, I think Black Friday is one of the best gambling days of the year. It's a little bit skewed this year. You may have heard there's a pandemic, but usually college football, the day after Thanksgiving, one of the best gambling days of the year. Love it.
We do.
Love it, love it.
Notre Dame, North Carolina, huge game on Friday.
Oh, they play Friday?
Yes, they do.
Oh, yeah, I know it's a little bit different this year. Usually you guys would be playing like Stanford or USC at the back of the schedule, but now that you're joining a conference, which is hilarious that you might win that conference, you know, it's a little bit different. But yeah, so best gambling day of the year. As if we are good at gambling, because last week proved that we are not.
Yes, we'll get into our picks in a little bit, but let's go through the Thursday power rankings here, as we always do, because it is a second Birds vs. Boys episode of the week. So it's power ranking time. So we go 1 through 5. For a couple of weeks, we thought it was going to be Chiefs at number 1. We were agreeing every week, but we've been agreeing every week that it's not the Chiefs. So my number 1 team still is the gold standard, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Steelers, baby. I am so excited that we call this. I get so excited talking about the Steelers and just how well they're run. And it's just like, I don't know, looking at somebody who has their life together, because I sure don't. And it's like, wow, that guy has a 401k set up. I don't know what that means, but it sounds important. The Steelers do, and the Eagles don't.
Yeah, the Eagles are like Eddie, our producer, who just like lives by himself in New Hampshire, which is not even a real state. And he's got a cat, but he doesn't even know how to take care of the cat. And then he buys like Busch Light and he sips one and then just sits there by himself.
He drinks PBR because it's the cheapest beer that he can find.
Yes.
Literally. That's what he was drinking during the draft stream.
So the Eagles are Eddie, and I don't know. The Steelers are Warren Buffett.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it feels lately. But yeah, so they're my number one. Game canceled against the Ravens, which sucks. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out on Sunday against them because I feel like the Ravens need this game, but I feel like the Steelers are pissed off about the game
Yes.
being canceled and the
Yes.
Ravens being allowed to get maybe a few guys back by Sunday.
And that was another point that I was going to bring up about about the Steelers. Not only are they a good team, are they playing well, but they seem like a pissed off team. Like they play pissed off during the games. Like the defense just always looks angry. Chase Claypool looks like he's always just playing angry.
Mhm.
And first, the NFL took their bye week away and was just like, sorry, other teams can't handle this COVID thing, so you don't have a bye anymore. And now the NFL is like, yeah, sorry, you don't get your prime time Thanksgiving Day game anymore. And now the Ravens are going to rest up a little bit more. And they're on social media like, this is a fucking joke.
Yeah, they all came out and about, oh, Juju Smith-Schuster, he can't get that guy off TikTok. But still, I very much think this is going to be a game where they win by double digits. And Mike Tomlin's like, as I said before, we do not care. We will show up anywhere and kick your ass.
And speaking of TikToks, check out the Birds vs. Boys TikTok run by producer Vince. It is a hoot. We are figuring out TikTok. I am 33 years old, have no idea what's happening, but I'm on there.
I'm 25. I don't know what the hell's going on. I miss MySpace and AIM.
Oh God, I had Facebook when it was thefacebook.com.
To old people that I know, old people that I know, it is still the Facebook.
Yes. And you had to have a college email, and only certain colleges were part of it. It was a wild time.
God, you were literally like in the Social Network movie.
Yes, and you had one picture.
One. Oh.
So you better pick that picture wisely.
Imagine girls having to choose just one heavily filtered picture. That sounds like a nightmare.
And there was barely any filters back then.
Yeah, exactly.
The picture was what the picture was.
The dark ages of social media.
We could do a whole podcast just about that. All right,
so
Steelers are number one. And number two for me are still the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs are the Chiefs are the Chiefs.
I will say one thing about the Chiefs: the ease in which they scored. It was a minute 43 left. They were down 31-28 against the Raiders. Raiders played as good as they could play.
Raiders are a good team.
I'm actually going to get into them with Derek Carr. Patrick goes down the field, 143. They had one timeout. They didn't even use the timeout. They didn't even get a field goal to tie. They just flat out won the game.
Yep.
So they're
game. Thank you.
My
number three, I'm going to stick here with the Saints. They plugged Taysom Hill in there. Everybody's like, what are you doing? Jameis Winston. Some guys, on fantasy were loving it because they could plug him in at tight end or flex, and they got quarterback stats out of it. And he played really well. I think they're going to be able to hold up. And, hey, maybe this will even help the team with not Drew Brees playing quarterback. But I'm going to put the Saints at 3.
The Saints are my 3 as well. I was one of those guys who had Taysom Hill playing tight end in fantasy football, but he's really a quarterback. For fantasy, that playing Taysom Hill at tight end was basically like the Woodstock of fantasy football.
Yes.
Like, you just had to be there to experience it. I can't wait to tell my kids 70 years down the road, or my grandkids, about that time that I started Taysom Hill as a tight end, but really he got me quarterback points. You just had to be there. Saints are 3.
I think you're never having kids because you overheard that conversation at the bar. So
I was scared for my life. I was scary. And you know what? It was around Halloween. I went to a haunted house, did the whole haunted house thing. That conversation was 10 times scarier than anything you could see at a haunted hayride.
Can't wait to become a father one day.
Yeah, you might be closer, buddy.
Might be. All right. My number 4. I don't know if this is going to take you off guard or not.
Ooh.
A team that you have had in the rankings before. I'm putting the Rams at 4.
Oh man. Okay. I love that logic. I'm a big Rams guy. I think their defense is very underrated, and offense can do enough.
Yes.
Jared Goff,
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay, that combination, they never blow me away, but they can do enough to hang in there with the league's best. So I hate to do this. Probably should have consulted before so we didn't have the same rankings, but I do have the Rams at 4.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Same brain.
Same
right?
brain.
We did not talk about this at all before the show. No show prep.
No show prep at all.
I'm pulling an Aidan here with number 5. I'm putting no one there.
Wow. Yeah.
No
So
one.
I was going to do that too. Nobody really has earned it. No one's really earned
stink.
that.
The Ravens are frauds.
Yes.
The Titans are frauds.
Yep.
I guess maybe I could put the Bills there.
You ready
the
for
Raiders?
mine?
The
Ready
Cowboys?
for my honorary 5?
Dallas Cowboys?
Not a fucking chance in hell. The Frank Reich-led Indianapolis Colts
Wow.
are my 5 this week.
Okay. Last week at this time, we were like, why the hell would the Packers be underdogs to the Colts?
What a difference a week makes. You went from tanking for a top 5 pick to winning the division, and we went from why the hell would the Colts be favored against Green Bay to, you know what? Indianapolis might be a top 5 team in the league. Who knows? I love how the NFL just goes that way sometimes.
That's how we swirl. Wow. Okay. I like that. Yeah. I don't know why I use the word swirl, but I like the swirl. It's fun to say. Okay. Yeah. That was one of the picks that I had last week. You had as well. I think that was our joint pick. And that hurt.
It did because of how confident we were in it.
Yes.
That's
how confident I was early in the game when the Packers were up big. I was like, all right, mail it in. That was easy.
I took a screenshot and I didn't send it because I was like, this will backfire. But even taking the screenshot backfired because I was like, this was the easiest gambling pick of all time. And then they lost by 3 points.
And also, I would again like to say, fuck you, Houston Texans.
They should be banned from Thursday Thanksgiving game for that performance.
There's no way they should be playing on Thanksgiving.
Not a chance.
Miserable. Okay, those were our picks. I'm not going to run through them because I forgot them in my head and I don't have them written down. But if you forget,
I will do it. So we got Steelers, Chiefs, we got Saints, we got the Rams, and I have Colts at 5.
And I have no one.
There you go.
Love it. All right, those are our rankings. The top 2 have been staying the same. 3 through 5 have really been shifting as the weeks move forward. But now, before we get into a little birds versus boys action, let's get into our picks. And I burped because that's what my picks deserve from last week. So I will let you go first on your picks for this week, or pick. I don't know how far you're going. Usually we do 2.
I do have 2, although I don't deserve 2 after our performance last week. I have the Saints -6. I'm riding the Taysom Hill train. I just think that they're the most complete team in the NFC. Like, not many people can lose their quarterback. And I'm not even sold on Taysom Hill being a starting quarterback. I'm just sold on the team that's around him. You know, I'll get into it, but it must be nice to have a team around you. And it doesn't matter who plays quarterback because the other people are good. So it'll help the quarterback excel. You know, like that would be really helpful in some other cities that I know.
Where could that be helpful? I don't know.
Can't think off the top of my head, but I'm sure someone out there would really benefit from having like a draft like the Saints in 2017 where they didn't miss on a single pick.
Yeah, that would be helpful for you and hurtful for me.
Yes.
All right, my first pick, I'm abstaining.
Okay, that's fair. All right, you abstain. You plead the 5th. That's fair. Okay, you abstain from pick 1. Would you like me to do pick 2 and then come back to you for your second pick?
Yes.
All right. I've got Giants -6 against the Bengals. First game without Joe Burrow. They really just don't have a backup quarterback. I think Ryan Finley's starting for Cincinnati, and the Giants are playing their hottest football of the season, which doesn't say much, but it's enough to beat the Bengals by a touchdown.
Agreed. If I was going to make a first pick, that was going to be my first pick, but I abstained.
But you abstained. So now we're here to pick number 2.
I abstain again.
Okay. Picks of the week. Aidan, -6. Giants, -6. Kevin, abstain. Kevin, abstain.
I'm like one of those politicians on Capitol Hill when they're asking them hard questions and they're like, my lawyer has told me not to answer and plead the 5th. I abstain.
Not to say a damn thing. Yep.
Every question, because after my performance last week on here and on branded radio, I don't deserve to make any fucking picks this week.
Two bad beats for you. Iowa State won 45-0, and the over was 46.
Like 46.5 is the over under. I picked the over, and Iowa State wins 45 fucking nothing. Kansas State couldn't kick a field goal. I don't know.
And they're not even that bad of a team.
Maybe a safety. Yeah, they're ranked.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. And then obviously the Packers thing that we talked about. Just
oh god, and the Patriots.
And the Patriots. Yeah, you did confidently say that one too. Yeah. Now I get it. Now I see why you abstained. Maybe I probably should have too, but it's funny that way. Okay.
Do I really now I got to talk about the Cowboys?
I mean, yeah, mister, I talked myself into winning the division. Yeah, you do.
All right. First thing is first here. Some sad news, obviously, out of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if I'm sure you heard yesterday all of the news on Tuesday that was it Tuesday? Yes, that the Dallas Cowboys had a medical emergency at their facility. Nobody knew what was going on, and then they canceled practice. And to cancel practice on especially a short week, Thanksgiving week, you knew it had to be something pretty serious. So people were questioning, was it Jerry Jones? Did Jerry Jones die? But he was on 105.3 The Fan with Sean and RJ at the time this happened. So because of course he's just always on the air. So Jerry was fine. Then was it Mike McCarthy? Because Mike's a big guy and big mouth breather. So, we get nervous for Mike because, he's on the sideline. Even anytime you hear him being interviewed on the radio, it's just and that makes me nervous for Mike.
Yeah, for sure.
So, unfortunately, it was the strength and conditioning coach, Marcus Paul, had a heart attack at the facility, and unfortunately on Wednesday passed away at the age of 54. A guy that they said was the picture of health, literally jumps into the drills with these NFL guys and playing, 7-on-7 drills with them. And the more you do research, or if you know anything about the NFL, like the strength and conditioning coach is really the player's guy, right? They either love or they hate the strength and conditioning coach. And if they hate the strength and conditioning coach, usually he's not there very long because the players have a say over that. He's the guy that, has time for them, where the head coach doesn't, he's running the whole show, unless you're Doug Peterson and you're just eating ice cream, or you're Mike McCarthy and you're getting massages. He's the guy that the players really rally around. And that's what they said about Marcus. He's been with the Cowboys since 2018. Players loved him, still do, even though he's passed away. So really, really sad news. And I think it's going to be a rallying cry for this team on today.
Yeah. I was curious what your thoughts were on whether that'd be a good thing or a bad thing. It is sad, though. It tells you the times we're living in when they had to announce it was a non-COVID emergency.
Yeah.
But you knew it was something serious, like you said, for canceling practice and just announcing that it was an emergency. And 54, like, it seems old for people our age, but it's really not too soon to lose a loved one, especially, like you said, beacon of health, to be a strength and conditioning coach in the NFL. Like, you got to be one of the healthiest people alive. So it's really sad news to lose someone that in a shocking, sudden way like that.
Like, I'm not ready to go in 20 years. That's only 20 years away from it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's pretty crazy. That's crazy. Like 54 is not that old.
No, not at all.
He's still in his prime. Like, if you're still doing drills with NFL players, you got a lot of life to live. So it's a shame that it was cut short like that.
Yeah. So it's miserable, and I think the team's going to come out and play hard for him. And I was asked a question by insider Matt Yost. He said, "Do you think the Cowboys did the right thing in canceling practice?" And I said, "I do. I do think it was the right move, and I think it was a Mike McCarthy move to try and keep this team rallied around him." we thought the team was lost, right? We thought that he lost the locker room completely. And then all of a sudden last week he comes out and he's smashing watermelons in front of the team, apparently, and the team erupts and loves it. And then Shannon Sharp calls him a racist for doing it, which I'm not even going to give 2 seconds of time to even talk about that. I tweeted it this week. If you want to boycott anything in this world, boycott Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, because they're fucking jokes. But anyway, I think it was a part where Mike McCarthy also he felt like it was the right thing to do, and I feel like he thought, if I make these guys practice today after what just happened here at the facility to a coach that they love, that's just going to be more of a chance he loses the locker room, right?
I agree. Well, here's two things about it. One, I've always felt with short weeks, Thursday night games, you either have it or you don't. Like there's no amount of practice that is going to get you prepared when you have 72 hours, especially if you're the road team. Now, I know the Cowboys are playing at home, but still, like, you either have it or you don't. You're either ready or you're not. I think part of the reason the Eagles do well on Thursday night football is because they simplify things and they just go out and play football and ignore everything else. So I don't think one day of practice really costs you on a short week, because how much are you doing in practice anyway?
And it's a team that they're used, like, it's an in-division team, so the team. It's not like they're playing a team they haven't played in 4 years.
You should have a good idea of what you're going to do and what your game plan is come Thursday, and one day of practice shouldn't cancel that. And it's another thing. It's like, you got to teach the people, if we've learned anything this year, it's that, like, football is just a game. Like, you got to start valuing human life. And that guy dying is way more important than a day of practice. How focused are guys going to be if someone dies at your facility and then you say, well, that's a shame, but
it's a business.
We have a short week, like, you can't have that mindset. Like, it means a lot more to people. X's and O's don't really matter. Like, that means a lot more to say, look, we got to take care of this. The game will be fine. Believe in you. And Mike McCarthy, this is perfect, because you know what it says? I believe in my guys. They're going to be ready. We can sacrifice a day of practice. They'll be fine on Thursday. Let's take care of family first.
And I think they will be fine today. I have not been Mr. Cowboy positivity-wise this year.
You? Me? Positivity?
What? But I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to come out fast. I think they're going to come out hard. Not only for Bob Hope. Yeah, Bob Hope, guess what? He's like the Undertaker just retired, and before he retired, he brought Bob Hope back from the dead. So I think the Cowboys are going to come out hard. I think they're going to come out fast, not only for their strength coach, but I also see this as a revenge game for them. Now they get to play at home. They got embarrassed in Washington. We talked the last podcast about different games that the Cowboys got embarrassed, like the Monday night game in Arizona, the Cleveland game.
This game.
The Washington game just felt like they gave up. Andy Dalton died on the field, basically, and the offensive line, nobody did anything. So I feel like this is going to be a revenge game for that offensive line. It's Andy Dalton's revenge game. And I think they also, at 3-7, and Washington's 3-7, and the Giants are 3-7, and the Eagles are 3-6-1, and they can see ahead. And now they get to next week play the Ravens, who are now going to be coming off a short week, getting their game pushed back to Sunday, and then having to play Dallas next Thursday.
Wow. Oh, never mind. I didn't realize the game was Thursday. You're good.
Yeah. Dallas and Washington play next and the Ravens play a week from today. That's why they were both playing this Thursday. They were each going to have equal amount of 1 week layoff. But now the Ravens have to play Sunday, so they're going to have a short week where the Cowboys have full rest. And I think they're going to know that. And I think they're playing to win this goddamn division. And I'm not in on it saying that I like it. I'm not in on it saying I love it. I'm not in on it saying they're going to do it, but I think they're playing for it. And I think they're going to show that today at home against Washington. The Washington pass rush obviously still scares me. Washington has the number one pass defense in the league. but I think the Dallas defense is going to play hard like they have the last 2 times they've been on the field against the Vikings and against the Steelers. And I think Andy Dalton, CeeDee Lamb, and Ezekiel Elliott are going to find a way to win this game. And hey, would you look at that? I even forgot about Amari Cooper. It's like a normal game for
It
him.
happens, dude. It just happens. Like he's just so quiet, and his play can be quiet. It naturally happens.
He's a chess player. I've been watching that Queen's Gambit show with my wife about chess, and yeah, he's just one of those guys.
He's just the King's Gambit, Cooper's Gambit.
So I have the Cowboys winning. They're 3-point favorites today. I could see them covering or just being a push, winning by 3. I could see.
Well, I love your logic of, well, I don't want to win, but I really do want to win. And if they win the division, that's fine. But also they should tank. Like, I love how you were just like perfectly in the middle. We talked about politicians before. You're like, well, I don't take a stance on this issue. And I can see how it'd be one way, but I can see how it'd be the other way. So my answer is nothing. I abstain from the goal I want for this football team.
Yes, I abstain. I will let you know on Tuesday.
I will let you know how I feel. So, here's the thing.
If they lose this game, then I think the division's out of reach for them.
You think if they lose, it's out of reach?
Yep.
I agree. How funny is this? I was thinking about this the other day. Is this the most important game of the season in the NFC East? Washington, Dallas, 3-7 on Thanksgiving.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think it absolutely is. It's hilarious. I can't think of anything worse. And at the same time, I can't think of anything better.
It's just, and now like they win this game, I'm going to talk myself into them beating the Ravens. Short week. No. Lamar can't throw.
He can't throw.
They're frauds. Yeah.
Look, you know how I feel about the Ravens. Look, an ounce of adversity and they are done for. Them playing on a short week, sound the alarms because, oh my God, some obstacle has come up in their way. Let's see if they can overcome it. This 10-foot hill that they can't seem to climb.
I know. Remember we loved them all at the beginning of the podcast. The Ravens were our babies. Just more, not the team, not the players, but just the way they draft and the way the organization is run. I don't know what's happened to them.
They still draft well, but I think there's definitely holes within the team. Like, and I'm not sold on Lamar Jackson,
and maybe we shouldn't be sold on either of the Harbaughs.
I'm definitely not sold on the Harbaughs. I think Michigan is a joke. Sorry that we've got off so far on college football, but yeah, I mean,
Michigan. I love Michigan being a joke.
Me too. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. As a Notre Dame fan, I'm like a casual Penn State guy. Not that they're doing anything, but I just don't like Michigan at all. So,
and one last RIP to your Temple game this weekend as well.
We play Cincinnati, so it's
you
not
don't play Cincinnati.
Great. What?
The game was canceled.
Was it really? Was it because of COVID?
Yeah.
This is breaking news to me.
Both teams.
Hold on. This is breaking news live on this podcast. You're telling me that we had to trot out our JV team. We were down 38 players against Tulane, and they trotted us out for that game. But Cincinnati, we can't ruin their playoff rankings, so the game got canceled?
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding?
Hold on. I'm almost positive. This
gets me more upset than everyone calling for Wentz's head. What the hell?
Yeah.
It's just a free-for-all. It's canceled.
Yeah, and it's not going to be played again. Both teams agreed that it's just a draw.
Just like so we're 1-6-1.
No, I don't think it's a tie. I think it's just a blah, blah.
Vince, can you blur out the part where Temple is 1-6? I'm sorry to get off of this college football rant, but we had COVID for weeks. Like, we didn't have enough players to play. Last week, we almost got the game canceled. Tulane, the game almost got canceled. We haven't had enough. We're on our 5th string quarterback. Last week, a wide receiver played quarterback. And now, it took a month, and now we can't play the game. Like, people just make up these COVID rules as they go along. Like, the Steelers-Ravens game. It took them 3 days, and then, like, 12 hours before the game, they're like, well, maybe we shouldn't do this. Like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have done, like, all those other games that you did, too. What the hell? Like, really just make their own rules up. Not that it's easy, but come on.
Yeah, I'm trying to find on Twitter. I can't see, but yeah, no, it's not happening. And then Nick Saban has it again. So
Again, yes.
yeah,
And that is
great.
your college football podcast. Thanks for joining in with a smidge of Washington football talk.
That's the stateside vodka talking.
The Stateside Vodka College Football Pick'em, where we
So-
abstain from giving picks, don't talk about the NFC East, and talk about AAC college football on a Friday.
Let's go. And we will be back next week. Thank you for listening to
All
Birds.
right, see ya. Have a nice night.
So back to the Cowboys. Yeah, they're gonna win the game.
I'm worried. One, that defensive line. You know how I feel about the Washington defensive line. Two,
Yes, they scare me.
I think Washington's offense has been playing a lot better ever since Alex Smith has come back. He's obviously the most competent quarterback they have.
Yep.
Just a matter of health with him. And since he's been the starter and the full-time starter, they've been a lot better.
Yep.
Not that they're good, but they've been better, So I don't know. I feel like it's not a walk in the park for the Cowboys. I hope it goes exactly like last year's, where they played the Bills and pretty much got embarrassed, and it was like the coming out party for the Bills. So that's my hope. That would make my Thanksgiving. I really enjoyed that, honestly. That was fun.
That Bills. So that was the back-to-back last year. The Bills on Thanksgiving, who embarrassed the Cowboys, and then the following Thursday night, the Cowboys making Mitch Trubisky look like Joe Montana on Thursday Night Football the week after.
Mm-hmm.
That's when my soul died last year. Yeah. Those two games.
And then 2 weeks after that, 17-9. And Amari Cooper was so tired he couldn't. It was like fourth down, and I don't have enough time for this
season.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. But so it should at least. I know people will make fun of this, like it's 3-7, NFC least, yada yada. Like I actually think it'll be a good game.
I do too. Yes, I think the Cowboys are going to win, but Alex Smith is going to have this Washington team in the game to the bitter end.
Here's a question, real quick, because we're under a time constraint from outside forces. Who would you rather have, Andy Dalton or Alex Smith?
I don't. Fuck. I want to say Andy, but I don't know. I haven't seen enough Alex yet fully back. I mean, he's been slinging it though. But I haven't seen enough Andy either.
That is true. The sample size is small in the restarts of their career.
I abstain.
Well, I could see it going one way, but I could see it going the other way. So everybody's right. It's a draw.
Garrett Gilbert.
Yep. Would you like to get into the made-up QB controversy on the other side of this podcast?
I know you have a lot to get into with this, and I can't wait.
Oh, I can keep it very simple, short and sweet, baby. You all have broken me. I am done.
You're like a tree being chopped down.
I am a Christmas tree. I am the Griswold family Christmas tree. They found the perfect one, forgot a saw, had to go back, get the saw, and then chopped me down and shoved me onto their tiny station wagon. And I'm going through the windows of the house. You guys have snapped me down and broken me.
Why is the carpet all wet, Margot?
I don't know, Todd. I think it's flipped. I think it's, why is the carpet wet, Todd?
Yeah, that's right. I don't know, Margot.
Great movie. Top Christmas movie. Vince doesn't understand the reference that we're making. The difference between 22 and 25 in this country is astounding. It makes me feel so old.
Like he just knows TikTok. That's it.
Yeah. If it wasn't popular, on TikTok, it didn't happen.
Yeah. Maybe we'll make a TikTok video for you, and then you'll understand.
Yeah.
God, now this is going to turn into the Christmas vacation. Hold on, Vince. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
He's going to say Elf. Because that was 2004.
Oh God. Die Hard.
He says Die Hard, which is.
You just said Elf sucks. Okay.
Okay. Well,
so Jalen Hurts,
producer Vince, thank you for joining.
And good night.
We will revisit this conversation closer to Christmas. I know Kevin's wearing a Christmas hat, but it is Thanksgiving, technically Thanksgiving Eve, best holiday aside from Christmas.
Had no idea I even still had this hat on. I was just bringing our Christmas tree upstairs, and I put it on. So I was like, huh, and just realized I had it on now.
Just go with it, baby. Just ribbon.
Damn right. All right, Jalen Hurts.
Jalen
Carson
Hurts
Wentz.
should start on Monday Night Football. Jalen Hurts should start on Monday Night Football. Jalen Hurts should start on Monday Night Football. Jalen Hurts, Seahawks, prime time, national TV. I would love it because you know why? The quicker we get this shit show over with, the quicker we can realize what the actual problems are with this team. He will come in and he will fail, and they will fail and they will lose again, and they'll be behind in the division. And guess what? Now you can't pin all your problems on the quarterback. Guess what's going to happen? Jalen Hurts is going to come in, and the receivers won't get open, and the line won't be able to block, and he'll get sacked, and he'll turn the ball over because he can't throw.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? We'll lose. And you'll say to yourself, well, okay, so Foles isn't good anymore, and Wentz isn't good. Now we brought in Hurts, and he doesn't do anything. Huh. Maybe, just maybe, I have an hypothesis. Maybe this team fucking sucks. Like, the quicker people get it in their head, the better off we're going to be. And I probably won't go insane if people figure it out soon.
If you're Carson Wentz, you almost like want Hurts to start the game.
Yes. If I'm Carson, I'm like, you know what? Screw
My
you.
shoulder hurts. My shoulder hurts a little bit. I don't think I can play today.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like, if it's not going well in the first half and he gets sacked 4 times and they say at halftime, they're like, Jalen, yo, you're going to start. Carson, I'd be like, here, buddy, have fun.
Yeah.
You get your ass beat for 30 minutes. Tell me how it is.
I'll be in the locker room getting a massage and in the hot tub.
Yeah, he'll put the little headphone in so he can hear the plays, and he'll be on the sideline like, well, that play's not gonna work. And like he'll hear Doug Peterson call a play, and he'll be like, well, that's not gonna work.
No,
it's not like the other offense. Like, honestly, Carson might call the plays because it's not like all these offensive geniuses they brought in over the offseason do anything on the sideline. I don't even see them. They do nothing.
Nothing.
It's useless. And every TV show has done that episode where the leader of the group or the boss lets another person take over and like spend a day in the boss's shoes. How is life going to be as the boss? They've done it in Community when Troy takes over for Jeff. Freaky Friday, that's the entire movie. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure like they do it in Drumline. Where Nick Cannon's like, oh, it's actually, I understand like the leader's point of view now to an extent. So this week, it should be Freaky Monday, where Jalen Hurts gets to take over for Carson Wentz and gets to see what life is all about.
It's like The Office when they bring in D'Angelo. How'd that work out?
Or in The Office, when Jim got to run The Office and he tried to plan a birthday party and it backfired and Michael came back and he was like, wow, this guy's insane. He has his faults, just like Wentz, but maybe it's not his fault. Maybe he's just a product of his environment. I'm gonna go insane, Kevin. I'm going insane.
So I'm with you on this. Yes, I've been a Carson Wentz apologist for a long time. I was one that kind of always said yes, he is better than Dak. Now I think that conversation is a lot closer than I thought it was. But does Carson Wentz, is he having a bad season? Abso-fucking-lutely. Mm-hmm. But is the entire team having a bad season? Abso-fucking-lutely. Is the entire division having a bad season? Abso-fucking-lutely. Is putting Jalen Hurts in all of a sudden, like I feel like it's those, I'm not going to name names here. I could name some people in the media, but I'm not going to do it. But it's those Folesian society people, I feel like, that all of a sudden they're like, ooh, okay, hold on. What happened when Carson was in, but then he went away because he got hurt, and then we brought in the backup. We won the Super Bowl. What if we bring in Jalen Hurts? We're going to win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. No!
Yeah, exactly. No. Because the offense was totally different then. And he had competent skill position players around them. And they brought in Alshon Jeffrey, and they brought in Torrey Smith, and they had Brent Selleck, and they had Trey Burton, and they had Zach Ertz, and they had a healthy line.
And that team was just on a roll. That team mentally had it too. This team mentally does not.
No, it's just And they had camaraderie, and they were healthy to an extent, and they didn't have a different lineup every week. And they traded for Jay in the middle of the season. Here's how I break it down for people in Philadelphia, because we literally just went fucking through this, which it drives me the most insane.
Yep.
Like, we just blame the star for whatever issue is going on with the team, and the people who make the decisions about the team don't get in trouble at all. Although in this situation that I'm about to explain, it did. This would be like if the bubble Sixers started Norvell Pell instead of Joel Embiid, because the bubble Sixers were losing and Joel was making mistakes. So Joel has his faults. Sometimes he turns the ball over, especially when the double team comes. He takes too many outside shots when you want him to get paint touches.
Yep.
People complain that sometimes he gets too tired. Joel has his faults.
Of course he does.
But aren't those faults attributed somewhat to the team that was constructed around him and their inability to succeed? The
100%.
the GM built a shitty roster. They had no shooters. They really weren't that good on defense either. They let another star walk away. They weren't good enough to compete in the East. Joel was forced to do most of the work. His workload caused him to create mistakes. Are we going to blame him for those mistakes? Or are we going to blame the idiot coach who didn't really know what he's doing and had mentally checked out, and the front office who built the roster around him? We're in the same situation. It hasn't even been 3 months, and we're already going down the same road. We can't keep blaming the star when something goes wrong, because you can't draft this badly as the Eagles have. Can't draft a receiver to save their life. Don't have an offensive line that can stay together, same offensive line 2 weeks in a row. Like, it's just not going to work, and the quarterback doesn't matter, and I will willingly let Jalen Hurts start just to prove it.
And hey, DK Metcalf's calling for it.
Remember when we were like Alshon Jeffrey definitely scores.
Yes.
Like, any prop bet, anytime touchdown, Alshon Jeffrey.
Didn't work out well.
That one didn't work out. Is there any doubt that DK Metcalf scores a touchdown this week? Possibly 3.
At least. Especially after that game, 2 weeks ago, where he was very upset and he wanted the ball more, and then he started getting the ball more. And now, I'm sure he knows the chatter that goes on in the Philadelphia market about him and that they passed up on him. And yeah.
This very well could be a 3-touchdown DK Metcalf game.
Oh,
like, no doubt about it.
I would love it. So now I'm I was like, yeah, man, I want the Eagles to win some games so they win the division. And I want them to win the division at 6-10. So then they lose the first playoff game at home, and then they get a bad draft pick, and the Cowboys get the third draft pick, and then the Cowboys win one game.
And just the Cowboys draft Justin Fields because Dak Prescott was on the Chicago Bears.
And now the Cowboys win one game. And now they're beating Washington on Thanksgiving. And then they're going to beat the Ravens. And then they're going to beat whoever they have after that. And then after that. And then they're going to win the division at 7-9 and host a playoff game. You know what I would love? Jeff Kavanaugh was talking about this. If the Cowboys can't get the top 3 pick, I want them to win the division. I want them to host the number 5 seed, which they would. And as of right now, that would be the Tampa Bay Bucks, and I want them to fucking retire Tom Brady.
I think that's why I wanted it. I wanted Tampa Bay so bad. Like, if I could get Brandon Graham on the same field as Tom Brady in another playoff game. I know it was the Super Bowl last time, and just like another strip sack in a playoff game, I could just see that coming. I'd love nothing more than that.
And literally just end his career.
That'd be it.
He looks so bad.
I think that'd be the perfect ending.
It would.
Speaking of perfect endings, I'm done for the night. Let's go, Jalen Hurts.
So, give me your prediction for the game Monday night.
Look, I'm the most positive Eagles fan I feel like that there is. I don't see it. It doesn't even feel like one of those games. We've talked about it before, where sometimes when their back is against the wall, they know it and they come out and they pull out a win that maybe they shouldn't have. I just can't see it. I have looked at this 100 ways. I've run the Black Mirror simulation. It doesn't work. And we've never beaten Russell Wilson. This is the year it's going to change. Although I would go 1-15 if it meant we beat that guy. I'm just so sick of losing to him, but I just don't see it. I don't know. I want it so bad, so badly, especially because DK Metcalf said that Hurts should start over Wentz, and he should be on our team anyway.
I also think Russ has a chip on his shoulder right now because he was flying high at the beginning of the season. People were like, this is going to be his MVP year, and he's kind of fallen off a little bit. He's had a lot of turnovers lately. So this could be his get-right game.
Absolutely. He could have 4 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
He can have 4 touchdowns. No doubt about it. Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of screwed.
Yeah, I think so. I think we wake up Tuesday morning, and the Cowboys are 4-7, and the Eagles are 3-7-1.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, think about that.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
We will be recording after the Monday night game Monday night, so we will be dropping another episode Tuesday as normal. So I'm very excited to have Aidan fresh off the game. I don't know if his retinas will be able to see me because he stands a foot away from the TV. So I think his brain and eyes usually need a couple hours to recover. But I think his mouth will still be able to talk.
Oh, my mouth is always able to run. No doubt about that. There's never a filter on this thing.
All right. Enjoy your turkey. Enjoy your stuffing. Your favorite side, Thanksgiving side, before we go.
Great question. I like mashed potatoes. I've just recently got into stuffing. My mom makes this really good cracker pudding, which would be my favorite, but I don't think a lot of people know what that is. And big mac and cheese guy as well. Nothing beats homemade mac and cheese.
Love that. Stuffing's my number one, homemade mac and cheese, and I love a good homemade cranberry sauce that you put on the homemade turkey sandwiches later on in the night. So you get a little turkey, a little stuffing, maybe a little mashed potatoes on there, and you put the homemade cranberry sauce on the crescent rolls. Boom.
Yeah, that's a post-game meal. That's a post.
Yes. That's going to be my victory meal later today after the Cowboys beat the Washington football team. I love messing with Vince. All right, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy your weekend of all the games. Follow us on Twitter at Birds vs. Boys Pod. On TikTok, Birds vs. Boys Pod. We have a lot of great videos out there. We're getting a lot of great responses. So we let the young guy just do that. But we will be back next Tuesday. I abstain from the rest.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it. Yep.
Please, stop doing dumb things. I got 2 phones. Upset alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there. There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
Beat the team you promised me you were going to be this year!
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.